And joining us now, President and founder of Eurasia Group and GZERO Media, Ian Bremmer. Ian, good to have you. What do foreign leaders or allies think of President Biden right now?
They don't think he can serve another 4 years. And I will say that is true of every leader that I have met with that's attending the NATO Summit. Doesn't matter if they come from the right or the left wing of their respective political spectrums. This isn't news to them. They've reported this from the G7 summit. They talked about this when they met with the president in Normandy. It's not that they don't like him. In fact, they're deeply concerned. NATO allies, more than other countries around the world, very concerned about what it would mean if Trump were to become president, given his stated policies on Russia, Ukraine, and on NATO, and on the European Union. So, I mean, it's not like they're saying, we don't like Biden, we want him to go. They just don't think he's up to it. They increasingly think he's going to lose. And so what they're asking is, what's the state of play? What's going to happen? Is he going to step down? Who's going to make him do it? If he does step down, who's going to be there? I mean, this has become, you'd think it would be all about Ukraine and all about NATO. But I mean, the reality is the United States is the linchpin of NATO. And if they can't count on the U.S., they've got a very serious problem.
Do they think that Joe Biden is not up for campaigning, or do they think that he's not up for actually governing?
Not up for campaigning the way he campaigned 4 years ago. And I mean, that's not just about the debate. That's even true with the ABC Stephanopoulos interview. It's true with the way they have limited the amount of time that he has with the public, much more, sort of pre-scripted and shorter statements, fewer bilaterals, shorter bilaterals with world leaders. They all notice it. Again, these are his principal interlocutors around the world. These are his principal allies. They have all seen it happen. And it's not that they're worried that Biden is not capable of being president right now, that they're not saying he needs to resign. I didn't hear that from anyone, but I did hear there's no way that he's going to be able to capably continue to campaign effectively for another 4 months, never mind carry out 4 years after that. And again, they will not say that publicly. And
will
they won't
say that
publicly
to him?
Because they're allies.
Will they say that to him?
I think it's hard to say that to him. It's hard to say that directly to him. I think, but the people around him are certainly hearing it. I mean, the senators that are in the meetings, the House members that are in the meetings. And you're getting a lot of this feedback. I mean, there's a reason why, you're not getting, the problem is that there's no organization, there's no leadership that is going to get together and say, okay, we are all together now going to stand up publicly and say it has to be X instead of Biden. And so what you have is a majority of senior people that are saying privately that they'd rather have someone other than Biden, but that doesn't get you from here to there unless Biden himself is willing to take that on.
Here's a live arrival of some of the leaders of NATO getting to Washington, D.C. He's going to have President Biden that news conference where he's going to try to assuage the concerns of the American people once again by talking to the press, without a teleprompter and no formal way. But I wonder if there's anything he can do behind the scenes to convince those NATO allies that he's up for it. You say that they've seen this coming. Is there a way that he can convince them that he's still the guy that can win?
Again, they want him to win. I mean, okay, maybe not Viktor Orban in Hungary, but I mean, the vast majority of the foreign leaders that are here in Washington right now, they want Biden to win. And back in the Munich Security Conference, when they all gathered in late February, I would say they thought he would. Over the last few months, it's been closer to a coin flip. Right now, they mostly think he won't. And that is on the basis of them continuing to spend time with him over the course of the last 1-2 years. They've seen the deterioration. They've seen him slow down. And it's not just physically slowing down. It's repeating the same anecdote twice in an individual meeting. I've heard that from a world leader today. It's, not recognizing someone that he knew quite well when he came up and introduced them. Again, we're talking about a world leader here. These sorts of things, you can't not recognize them. And it's not because they don't like him. It's not because they don't want him to be president. That's not it at all. It's because they feel like they have so much at stake in this election. I mean, let's face it, the United States one way or the other, U.S. got through Trump. One election, will probably get through Trump if he wins again. And ultimately, the U.S. is a far more powerful country, a far richer country, a far more resilient country. But when you're talking about countries that are on the front line with a war where the Russians have invaded Ukraine and NATO is standing up, they have a lot more. They feel like they have a lot more at stake with this U.S. election than most Americans do.
Yeah.
And so when they're saying they're really worried that Biden isn't up for it, this is a matter of actual national security in their minds. Absolutely.
Yeah, there's a question of how well NATO will fare with a Donald Trump second term. Ian Bremmer. Ian, thank you so much.
Hey there, MSNBC fans. I'm Luke Russert, and be sure to join me, Rachel Maddow, Jen Psaki, Lawrence O'Donnell, Steve Kornacki, Joy Reid, and many more September 7th in Brooklyn, MSNBC Live Democracy 2024. Click on the link for ticket information. We will see you there.